What's up, everyone? It's Jason here, and I've never done a video like this before, but I actually got a comment to do a guitar tutorial for my Death Cab cover of No Room in Frame. So I thought it might be fun just to throw a little video together. Um, I'd be surprised if more than 5 people actually watch this, but if you're one of those 5 and you get something out of it, then that's pretty cool, and I think it'll be fun to do. So we'll get into it here. And let me just say right off the bat that I don't really consider myself a great guitar player. I'm probably going to mess up, a couple times even in this tutorial. Um, but I think what I lack in technical guitar playing ability, I kind of make up for with some like theory and arranging knowledge. And so when I do my acoustic covers, I try to bring some of that to the table. Like I try to do something, at least one thing on all my covers to make them unique to me instead of just doing like copy and paste covers just on an acoustic guitar. I think those are kind of boring. But I'd like to think that the covers that I do kind of bring something new to the song and they kind of personalize it for me a little bit. So I pretty much do all my covers with that in mind. And this one in particular was actually requested of me to do by someone who's very important to me. So I wanted to do a pretty good job with the cover just to kind of honor this person in whatever way that I can. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think out of all the ones I've posted, this one, it's probably my favorite. And it's gotten the most positive reaction out of all of them as well, as far as like thumbs up and comments go. So that's really cool to see. And then let me also just add real quick that if you liked my cover of this song, or if you've checked out some of my other covers on my channel, I actually have an album full of acoustic covers that I did a year and a half or so ago. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's wherever, it should be on wherever you stream your music. And I also uploaded it to YouTube, so maybe I'll link it here if you want to check that out. If you're a fan of like, late 90s, early 2000s, alt rock, pop punk, emo, whatever you want to call it, I think you'll dig the album. And I'm by far my own worst critic when it comes to my music, but having said that, I'm really, really proud of the album. I think there's some really cool moments on there and some really creative covers. The album's called Uncovered. And like I said, I'll link to it, but you can find it wherever you stream music. Just search my name, Jason Baum, Uncovered. You should be able to pull it up. So, having said all that, we'll get into why we're here, the tutorial for No Room in Frame. So, first thing is I down-tuned to E flat. So just standard tuning, just down tune a half step. So, A flat, E flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. I do that just so it's easier for me to sing. And also because I found that different tunings kind of create different ambiances in music. So to me, a song that's in E flat compared to E standard is going to have more of a melancholy vibe to it just by the nature of the key. So if it's a sad song that I'm trying to do, I'll down tune to E flat just for that reason, because to me, E flat sounds sadder than E natural does. I think that's like that for a lot of different tunings, like D and D flat are the same way, A and A flat. Like if you just down tune it, to me, it gives off a sadder vibe, and I've always kind of heard music that way. So I down tune it to E flat, even though No Room in Frame is in the key of E. Another reason why is because I interplay with a lack of color, which actually is tuned in E flat, so it kind of makes it easier to link those two songs together. So the song actually starts out with a lack of color, and there's plenty of tabs on this, that you can find, but just for completion's sake, I'll go through it. So I'm finger plucking at this point, and you have the low E string, the low E flat string. So I'm gonna, for whenever we go through the song, all the chord shapes that I do, I'm just gonna call them by their shapes. So I'll call this E and this A, even though it's technically E flat and A flat because we're down tuned. So just have that in mind. So when we start out the song, we're just gonna have this low E string, and you're gonna be on the 11th fret, right? And it's just kind of like a 12/8 shuffle feel. We're gonna go through this 3 times, and on the 4th time, we're gonna slide up to the 12th fret. And this is where it's going to shift back into No Room in Frame. So the last time through the riff, you slide up to 12, 12, 11, 9, 7, 4. Then you slide 4, 7, 4, 7, 9. And you let it ring on that. So in context, that last part of the phrase, that's the actual melody for No Room in Frame. So to a Death Cab fan, you're like, is this lack of color? What is this? Then you hear that and you're like, oh, we're back into No Room in Frame. So that's kind of how I interplay between the two. So that whole first phrase, right, we're just sliding between 11 and 7 on that A string. Then you do that little slide all on the end. That last part's a little tricky because you're sliding 4, 7, 4, 7, 9 all on the same pluck. But it's not too bad. You just kind of gotta be quick with your slides, I guess. So then it goes into the verse. It's very simple, actually. Literally the only fret I have pressed down is the 9th fret on that D string, okay? And I do that with my ring finger. Everything else is all open. So we start out with the low E, pluck out with your thumb, and then you pluck the high E and the B string with your index and middle finger, and then you come back on that 7th fret, the 9th fret on the D string with your thumb. So that's the rhythm. All open. And then it goes to A, the bass note changes, but this stays the same. Back to E, okay? So that's the chord progression. It's literally just E, A, E. And that's the rhythm. 1, 2, and 4, and 2, and 4, and. That's the rhythm. That's all it is. Very simple. So you play that through twice. Right? A, E. Play through again. That was too hard. E. Okay. I messed it up a little bit, but you get the idea. Then on the 3rd and 4th time through, this is something that Ben Gibbard does in a lot of Death Cab songs. He's just a really good songwriter. Is he'll throw in these accidental notes that you're not used to in the key or the chord that just kind of draw your attention to it. So he's going to throw in a D natural to give you the minor 7th feel, even though we're in E, right? So the 3rd time through, it starts out the same. But then you have that D natural, the 7th fret on the G string. So you still keep your ring finger the same, you just add this with your index finger on that 7th fret. Dang it. There we go. Same thing, go to A, back to E. I can't play that. There we go. That's what it is. I told you I was a good guitar player, but that's what it is. So it's but everything else is the same. You just throw in this D natural there, just to spice it up. So you play that through twice, and then you go into the chorus. So it's 3 chords. And you want to keep these top 2 strings open. It's going to be A with the G sharp, right? And then slide up to the A, and then low E. I hammer on that G sharp, so pluck the open E string, and then go into the chord. Rhythm's the same. Something like that. But those are the 3 chords. A with the G sharp, A, E. And for the first 2 chords, you just leave the B and E strings open. That's it. So you play through the chorus twice, you go back into the lack of color riff, finger picked. Just sliding between 11 and 7 until you get to the end. Let that ring out. Then you pick up the guitar pick, which I have just resting on my knee, really professional. And then you play the exact same thing, just with the pick. And that just kind of gives the song just a little forward momentum, like you're building to somewhere. It does change the feel a little bit. It's going to be a little bit louder, but everything else is exactly the same. For the second verse, play this through twice. A, low E, play through again. Then you go back to that D natural, right? And again. And the chorus is the same, you're just strumming now. Same 3 chords. We got the A with the G sharp, A, and the low E. Now, I had that sus in there, so when it repeats the second time, I'm on that low E, and then I just add my pinky to give it the E suspension, just to kind of change it up a little bit. And so it's pretty much the exact same thing. We're just letting these top 2 strings ring out, and we're playing those same 3 chords. A with a G sharp, A, E. This is for the second chorus. And the second time through, you just add that suspension. So for that, it's the same chord shape as this A. So those 3 notes, and then the top 2 notes are open. You just slide down to F sharp, and then slide back up to that A. Okay, that's the end of the second chorus. That's when the lyrics. I gotta think it through. That part, yeah. So that's it. And then the next 3 chords for when it goes, I guess it's not a failure, we can help. We're just on C sharp. Again, keeping these 2 open, but the same power chord shape. So that's your chord. And then keep the top 2 strings open. Slide down to B, slide down to A. So those are the 3 chords. So it's pretty simple. That's for the part where it's, and I guess it's not. So then again on this A chord, he throws in another weird note. He gets on this A, I just let my pinky go and I have the middle finger on the 1st fret here on the G string to give you that chord, which is a major 7th, right? So those are the 3 chords. Sharp, back to the A. And that takes you back into the bridge where we play Lack of Color for Real this time, okay? So I hope I didn't go through that too quickly, but it's pretty simple. It's the same chord shape. You're just starting at C sharp, slide down to B, slide down to A, and I play this with my ring and my pinky finger, and I leave the B string open, so it's actually an A2 chord technically. And then you just let your pinky off of the G string and play that major 7th with your middle finger on the 1st fret. Okay. Play that through twice. On the second time, go to the F sharp and end on the A. Okay. But your chord shape pretty much stays the same throughout all that. So it's pretty easy. You just want to let those top 2 strings ring out during all those. So then we go into a Lack of Color. There's a few different ways to play this, but the way that I learned is the same as the intro. I think Ben plays it a little bit differently, and he actually finger plucks it. But I use the pick just because it's easier for me. So same thing as the intro. 11 and 7, and then you go to 9. Then you go to the 9th fret, and then you want to play on the G string and the low E string. I use my ring finger and my middle finger for the second part of it. Then down to 7. Oh shoot. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Down to the 9th fret on the D string, then the 7th fret on the D string. So So that's how you play that. And there's plenty of tabs out there for that. That's the same thing that I do. It's even the same tuning, drop, a half step down. And you just repeat that a few times. So yeah, you repeat that, I think twice, and then I go back into the No Room in Frame, this thing. Try it again. I think for this, I just stay on this. I don't do that to transition back into the last chorus. I think I just went. Something like that. I just stayed on this the 7th fret on the A string. So, and then you just play the same chorus chords again. So I'll just kind of play it in context. Better than that though. Repeat that, but softer. The actual song ends there, but sometimes when you do acoustic covers, it doesn't feel right to like match what they did. So when I was arranging this, that ending didn't feel right to me. I knew I wanted to do a couple other things in there. So I play through that last part of the chorus again, just softer. But I guess it's not a failure. Now we go into Little Wonder. Again, there's tabs for this online, but just for completion's sake, you're on the C sharp here and the E there. So on the A string, it's the 4th fret, and the D string is the 2nd fret. And then you just play the 4th fret with your pinky on that D string. Then you slide up to the 7th fret. That part. So that's 7th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the D string. And then you just go up to the 7th fret on the D string for that higher note. Then that's just the open B string there. So you play that through twice, and then the ending of the song is You've Haunted Me All My Life, another Death Cab song from the same Kintsugi album. So you let that B string ring out, and you play that same C sharp chord as the chorus, and then you, how did I do this? Nope. Hang on, I gotta refigure this out. Yeah, that was it. So you play that C sharp, high E, and then your ring finger, you slide from 6 to 7. Then you just play B, E, B, low E, if that makes sense. So play the chord, and you end like that. You have haunted me all night. My voice doesn't sound very good right now, but it never really sounds good, so I guess it's par for the course. And then you end on that. And that's pretty much how I played that song. So like I said, that was a super personal cover for me. Kind of everything that I did in there had some added meaning to it, and I like to think that came through a little bit in the recording. Um, but you know, I'm just a dude that records songs out of my little makeshift studio here on my iPhone, so it's nothing professional or anything like that. But I hope that that some of the emotion that I wanted to convey came through with that. And like I said, if you like that cover, or if you look at some of my other covers on there, check out my album Uncovered, because I'm really proud of it, and I think that if you liked this one or some of my other ones, that you guys would dig that one as well. There's a lot of good stuff on there, in my opinion. So if you're one of the 5 people that actually watched this video, thanks for watching. I tried not to ramble on too much, but I hope that you got something out of it, and that maybe you're able to play along with me now, which is kind of weird to think about. But yeah, if you guys like more of this, maybe I can do some more. Or you know, if there's songs that you want to learn how to play. I do most of my guitar playing by ear. I don't really, you know, I don't really use tabs or chords ever. I've been blessed with a pretty good ear, so I like figuring stuff out. It's fun for me. So if there's something that, you know, you want to learn, and maybe you think I'm a good teacher, maybe let me know, and maybe we'll do some more of these. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.